Hello, everybody. Okay, so if you were watching and paying attention, I posted a couple of short videos showing how I got this ginormous box from this really cool website called Once Upon a Book Club. They have monthly subscription boxes and they have all kinds of extra stuff as well. And I've gotten several of their boxes over the years. And every year at Christmas time, they have this big limited edition. Like, you have to buy it quickly because they sell out 12 Days of Christmas box. And I've always thought they were cool and I've always wanted one, but they're pretty pricey. And I was like, I don't really want to splurge on that. And I was always scared of what might be in it. You know, like, is it really worth it or not? But I've watched lots of unboxings of them and YouTube videos and things like that. And I was like, this year I'm going to give myself a treat and take the plunge and get one. So I got one. And it comes with this little book, 12 Days of Book Club Muss. And I'll show you the box real quick in case you didn't see. If I can lift it up because it's huge. Oh my gosh. It's heavy and big. It kind of looks like a book. It has pages on the side. Oh God. And there's the front of it. Oh yeah. And inside, I don't know if I can show this or not. Yeah, I probably can't without toppling it over. But there's presents inside. I'm so out of shape. Okay. So, the presents have numbers on them for all 12 days up until Christmas. And it also had this book in it. Now what you do, this is volume 5, by the way, so this is like the 5th time they've done this. It's filled with short stories for all 12 days of the Christmas. I'm going to put this back. And what you're supposed to do is read a story every day. And when you get to a certain point in the story, there will be a little thing that says, I just saw one. I skipped it. Where was it at? There it is. Get to a certain spot in the story, it will have a little thing like this that says, open your gift. And then you open that gift for that day. I think I'm going to read the entire story first. And then I'm going to go back and open the gift each day. And I know what you're saying. If I upload this in the right day, today is December the 13th. You're supposed to start this on December the 14th, technically, so that it ends on Christmas Day. But I don't want to do that because we'll be so busy on Christmas Day. We'll have so much going on and tons of other gifts and things. So I want to put my focus on that. So I'm going to have it end on Christmas Eve instead. So I'm starting it today. Plus, I don't want to wait. Em is also doing the thing starting today. So it ends on Christmas Eve. Where I bought her a bunch of different books and wrapped them individually. So they're all books. They're all little skinny flat gifts. And I got her 12 of them. And she's going to unwrap one a day up until Christmas to kind of help her deal with the weight of waiting on opening presents. And each day we can open a book and we could possibly read the book together. So it's another good learning bonding thing. Whew, as if I didn't need enough extra stuff going on because we already have the reading challenge and the Elf on the Shelf's happening. Whew, I got a lot on my plate this December. Okay, so I thought I'd read. I don't think I can read the whole short story because it's pretty long. Maybe. Yeah, it's quite a few pages. So probably what I'll do is I'll read it and then I'll summarize with you guys what it was about. But I'll read the introduction on the book. It says, "Dear reader, you are about to read 12 stories over the next 12 days to celebrate our favorite holiday, what we call Book Clubmas. These stories and the accompanying gifts are here to help us celebrate our love of reading. These stories and gifts can be enjoyed any time of year, but for those of you who would like to experience this box as a countdown to Christmas, me, you can read one story each day starting on December 14th. We're starting on the 13th. And you will be able to open your last gift on Christmas Day. Mine will be Christmas Eve. Remember to fully experience your box. Don't open your gifts until we tell you. Happy reading, the Once Upon a Book Club team." It's a really pretty book, too. And I'm hoping that these stories are ones that I can just, like this is just a cool book to have afterwards, and I can go back and read the stories at a later time again if I want, and it's not, just something specific to the box. I don't think it will be. On the back it says, "A book is a gift you can open again and again." Ugh, I just love books, and I love book things, so I am so excited. And I don't have a lot of time before I have to pick him up from school. Just have a little bit more extra time left, so I'm going to try to hurry up and read this story. And then I'll get back to you.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so I just finished the first story in the book.
And I just opened my present.
Yes, that will be a different video. Em opened her present. And this first story, I really liked it. It was a fairy tale story. Don't get that in my hair. It was a fairy tale story. Kind of reminded me of Cinderella in a way, but a little different. I don't know if this is a classic fairy tale or if the author just made up the story and it was a new story, because I had never heard of it before. It's called If the Jootis Fit. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jootis, Jootis, by Nisha J Tuli. And the story kind of went back and forth between two characters. The prince, or he referred to himself as a prince, I guess. But he kind of seemed more like a king. But I guess he wasn't officially a king until he found his queen. And his name was Neelam. And a servant girl named Sadara. It took place in, it seemed like a different country, like maybe Middle Eastern or something. They used a lot of words that were not familiar to me, describing their clothing and foods and things like that. They wore like saris. There was a bunch of words that I didn't quite know what they were. And it starts off with the prince, Neelam, and he's like in his throne room, sitting on a big lavish marble throne. And there are like these shoes that are stuck in place on the floor, like they cannot leave the floor. Kind of like a, the sword in the stone sort of situation. It's these shoes that are sparkly with glass bits on them, like slippers that are stuck to the floor. And they're like in front of another like throne for the queen. So she's supposed to sit on the throne and slip her feet into the shoes. And if she can lift the shoes up off the floor, then she is the chosen one that's supposed to, like the kingdom is fallen into ruins. The people are starving. They have famine, and the people are hungry and everything. And supposedly when they find the queen that can fit the shoes, it will solve everything. The rains will come, the rivers will flow, there'll be food again, and people won't be starving anymore. So he has all these women coming in, all from rich families and stuff like that, coming in and trying on the shoes, and the shoes do nothing. And he's very agitated by it, and he's tired of trying to search and find this perfect woman that's supposed to make the shoes work. This servant girl and her friend are in the throne room cleaning up because they're supposed to have a big event where they invite a bunch more women to try out the shoes. And she herself sneaks up and sticks her feet in the shoes to try them out. And her friend's like, don't do that, you're going to get in trouble. Well, the shoes like latch onto her feet. There's like a shimmery light that fills up the entire room. And she's able to lift her feet up and move and walk away with them on, the shoes on. She's like the chosen one. But she's afraid she's going to get in trouble for this. So she hides it, that she's got the shoes on, because she's like, I'm a servant girl and the king is going to be so angry, or the prince. And yeah, so she's like, we have to make some duplicate shoes. We have to make a fake pair of shoes to put in their place. So they take her old shoes and they break a glass and put little pieces of glass on it. It sounds extremely impossible and unrealistic, but they make shoes that fit, that look like the other ones. And they use honey to stick the glass like glue to the shoe, and then they use honey to stick the shoes to the floor. So they have all these girls come in, and one of them sits down and puts her feet in, and she's able to pull the shoes up off the floor. They're sticky, but they're able to come up off the floor because they're only stuck with honey. So everyone's like, oh, she's the chosen one, but she's not. The famine and everything's still going on. They're like, why are things not getting better? This doesn't seem right. Anyways, eventually, the prince seems to be drawn to this girl, this servant girl, and he's like, why am I kind of drawn to her, and I'm kind of interested in her and want to talk to her, and I feel like I can share my feelings with her and stuff. And anyways, it comes to light eventually that she's the one, and there's a nice happy ending at the end. I thought that the gift that would go along with the story obviously seems like it would be a pair of slippers or something like that, which I was like, whatever. I wasn't super excited because I have big feet, and I'm like, they probably won't fit right. Maybe they're a weird pattern. But then they mentioned in the story that the servant girl was reading a book of fairy tales, fables, and she accidentally left it in the throne room, and the prince picked it up, and he was reading it as well. And it kind of gave me the hint that it's going to be a book of fables. And this is the present for day one, and it definitely feels like it's going to be a book, which I am way more excited about because I love books, and I love books of fables. So let's check it out. My first present of Christmas. Oh. It's not a book of fables. I'm assuming this is supposed to go with it. I didn't open the wrong thing. It's a book. I'm assuming I was confused on whether I should start with day 12 or day 1. I think you're supposed to do day 1. It is a book. And the book is called The Duchess by Wendy Holden. A novel. Wendy Holden, author of The Royal Governess. And it's a love story, it looks like, with a king, so that kind of goes with the story. So I'm assuming this is the right present, I hope. Well, we'll find out as we go along, I guess. The other present for day 12 was like a big, soft, squishy kind of thing. It kind of looked like a blanket or something. It might have been slippers, but I don't... Let's read the description on the back. It was a love so strong a king renounced his kingdom, all for that woman. Or was she just an escape route for a king who never wanted to rule? Best-selling author Wendy Holden takes an intimate look at one of the most notorious scandals of the 20th century. 1928, a middle-aged foreigner comes to London with average looks, no money, and no connections. Wallace's first months in the city are lonely, dull, and depressing. With no friends of her own, she follows the glamorous set on the pages of magazines and goes to watch society weddings. Her stuffy husband, Ernest's idea of fun, meanwhile, is touring historical monuments. When an unexpected encounter leads to a house party with the Prince of Wales, Wallace's star begins to rise. Her secret weapon is her American pep and honesty. For the prince, she is a breath of fresh air. As her friendship with him grows, their relationship deepens into love. Wallace is plunged into a world of unimaginable luxury and privilege, enjoying weekends together at his private palace on the grounds of Windsor Castle. Wallace knows the fun and excitement can't last. The prince will have to marry, and she will return to Ernest. The sudden death of George V seems to make this inevitable. The Prince of Wales is now King Edward VIII, when to her shock and amazement, he refuses to give her up or recognize they are facing impossible odds. Her fairy tale becomes a nightmare. The royal family closes ranks to shut her out, and Ernest gives an ultimatum. Wallace finds herself trapped when Edward insists on advocating his throne. She can't escape the overwhelming public outrage and villainized. She becomes the woman everyone blames, the face of the most dramatic royal scandal of the 20th century. Well, it does seem to go with the story, because it's about a girl that's of a lower class that gets into a relationship with the prince, and who's becoming a king and everything. So, but it's not what I expected. I expected it to be literal, like a book of fables, like it was in the story. Not a fiction book. That's a totally different story. But that was the first gift, and we'll find out tomorrow what the next one is.
Me too.
And we'll find out what her present is going to be. Woo! Bye!